All right, guys. So today we are going to get a look at Kylo Ren 6-inch Black Series figure. Here he is, obviously in the box. So very cool. So getting a look at the box as we always do. We have our normal sequences here with the box figure in the window with his weapons. There's the hilt, the unlit hilt, and then of course the lit hilt. We have our sketch art of Kylo Ren here. So very, very cool. Star Wars logo at the top, Kylo Ren name there. And then on the side, we have Kylo Ren in the background shaded with the Kylo Ren name there as well. And then of course, on the back of the box, he is number 45 in the Black Series line for this particular wave. And then of course, we have all of the readables here on the back. So I'm going to pull the box closer so you guys can take a look at all of the readables. There they are. If you need to pause the video, please do so. So there is the back of the box. And then of course on this other side of the box, we again have the number 45 in this Black Series line of figures. And then of course back around to the front. So guys, let's get him out of the box and get a look at what he looks like. All right, guys. So we got Kylo out of the box with all of his accessories. Looking absolutely awesome. I really do love this figure right out of the box, but we are going to get a look at the articulation and all of the other items here with this particular figure. So let's get started. All right, so to get you guys a closer look at the figure, specifically the head sculpt, because we're going to focus a lot here on the head sculpt of this figure. We're going to do a comparison as we sometimes do on this channel with the Mafex version of Kylo. Now it isn't the exact version as this one is. I obviously haven't got that Mafex version of this particular Kylo. I'm not even sure if it's available at the moment, but I'm sure it is something that we will see soon from the Mafex line. However, I do have the unmasked Kylo with his old costume from The Force Awakens. And we're going to compare that head sculpt because we know Mafex is among one of the top companies as far as face sculpts go. So we're going to do some comparisons with the face sculpts on these figures. So starting with the Black Series figure. Now, of course, Black Series has stepped up their game with the face sculpts. I think this is a very decent face sculpt here. There is obviously not much in the way of his scar. And we have seen in the trailer that there is a couple of shots with his scar pretty much fully healed, but you can still see it a bit. On this particular face sculpt, it's very, very hard to see that scar. And something else that's also interesting in the trailer, we also saw that he had some type of bandage of some type. I don't know what it is. I haven't seen any explanation on it, but it's a very long black strip that seems to be healing his scar, possibly healing it to the point where you can barely notice it on his face. So I don't know if we're going to get a variant of that particular head sculpt for this figure, especially with Mafex and some of the other companies and how they like to give you two different head sculpts. So that will be very interesting to see if we get that from those particular companies. However, unfortunately, Black Series did not offer us that particular head sculpt for this figure, but that is just fine. This figure is just as good. So again, we do have his cape here, which is very, very nice. It is a nice thick rubber, leathery looking rubber type. So very, very cool and awesome. Because it is rubber, it doesn't give much in regards to the articulation on the character. He will obviously hold his hand up here, his arm up with it on, but it does kind of pull the cape off of him a bit with his arm raised. So more than likely you'll probably have to have him hold it in a manner such as this, just so you don't get that this part of the cape kind of lifted up a little bit, but still very cool, and it sits on him very nicely, even though it is a rubber mold cape. So very, very cool. So let's get a look at him without the cape, and then we'll get a look at the cape itself. So getting a look at Kylo himself, Very, very cool, awesome new outfit here for Kylo there. So awesome. Has actually a place to hold his hilt there. So very, very cool. And we will get a look at that as well. So an awesome looking figure all the way around. Love the head sculpt. So let's get a look at the articulation on this figure, starting with the legs here. And again, guys, I always pull these guys fresh out of the box, so there is going to be some stiffness here. So bear with me. So we're going to go up with the up knee, and that is very, very nice. Look at that, very, very nice upward bend with that knee. And then, of course, we're going to see how good he goes straight out. Very, very good going straight out. There is no hampering with the articulation with the robe here because of the nice split that they give you in the front. So very good, Hasbro. Going back, you always get a very good back going with the double hinged knees. So you're good there. No problems there at all. Going down to the lower extremities. On the a very good rocker there, guys. I don't know if you can see that, but it is rocking back and forth. So very, very good. Then we're going to go down with it. Absolutely awesome. Downward, going up. He's going to give you a lot of articulation with this guy. So he is going to be a very posable figure. Now let's get a look at the arms, starting with the arm bend. And this arm is a bit stiff, but look at that, guys. He is a very, very good arm bend right there. Then we're going to straighten them back out. Very, very good. Pull them out to the side. Excellent, excellent going out to the side. They made sure that there was no hampering of the articulation here. So very, very good. And then, of course, you always are going to get that 360 whenever they do take care of that shoulder and make sure that it's not hampered by the clothing or armor. So very, very good articulation here with Kylo so far. So let's get a look in the head or torso area. So we're going to get a look at the torso area. Going side to side, you do get some side to side there. Not very nice, very good. Let's go back. Very nice going back. So he's going to be able to look very good upward, going down. Very, very good. So excellent. And then, of course, you do get a lot in the twist area, in the ab area. So very good articulation on him so far all the way around. So going to the head area, always you're going to get really good side to side. That's never an issue pretty much with any figure. Now going up and down, I believe he's already in an up position. Let's put him down. So going down, he is a bit stiff, so he does give you pretty good going down. I really love it. And then going up, there is a bit of hampering in the articulation with the with his hair here. He's got a pretty good little mullet. Not really a mullet, but the end right there is going to prevent him from going all the way back so he can look straight up. But since you get such good articulation in the ab area here, that's not that big of an issue. I would say that's probably the only issue in the articulation with this character. So that's a very small thing. I would give him a 10 out of 10 in articulation so far. And let's see if he's got a little twist in the head, and he does give you that little confusion, just a little bit, not a lot, but still good enough to get that head in certain positions if you need to do so. So very good articulation all the way around with this guy. I think you're going to be extremely happy with this guy in your collection, on your shelf, posing him in whichever way you want to. He stands very, very well. Right, so getting a look at his cape here, guys, and very, very good mold on this cape. Now, even though it is a rubber mold, it's not a very stiff rubber. It is very flexible. So they have improved that with some of these figures. Sometimes you get that real stiff molded rubber cape or what have you, whatever piece of clothing it is, cloak or whatever, and usually it's so stiff that you can't get the character in very good poses or because it hampers the articulation. Here I think they've done a really good job of softening it up a bit so it is more flexible, and but it still looks good and feels good, and it's not real heavy. That's another thing, it's not a real heavy rubber that's going to throw your character off balance and have him falling back. You don't have that here with Kylo because this is done really, really well. So again, kudos to Hasbro. Getting a look at his weapon, it's the standard weapon. Looks exactly as it did from The Force Awakens. Here, I don't notice any difference in it. Still has the exposed wire running down the front of it there. I'm now the assumption is that his saber was split by Rey in The Force Awakens at the end there, which I can buy that because it did look like that's exactly what happened. So whether he's reconstructed this saber and added anything to it, I wouldn't know. I'm not a saber expert. Again, for me, it's very, very hard to tell if this is in fact a reconstructed saber for Kylo. But there it is. There's the hilt, guys, just so you can get a look at it, and I hope it's in focus for you there. And then his sword, and forgive me that the sword is bent coming out of the box, but we will fix that with some hot water. So there it is, guys. And then of course his hilt should fit real nicely on his belt. This is my first time trying it, but I don't see there being any issue here. And there's not, went in nicely, holds there nicely, looks there nicely. I think it's a winner. What do you think, guys? So very, very awesome. There is Kylo right there. Excellent figure. If I had to rate this, 10 out of 10. Guys, so we're going to get a look at the head sculpts on both of these figures, just as a quick comparison. Now, obviously, the Mafex version right here is the Force Awakens version. I'm not aware if Mafex has already introduced their Last Jedi version of Kylo yet. And I should know that, but I'm not quite sure. But if they have, that is probably a figure that I will be getting. But of course, this is the Last Jedi version, and we're going to compare it to the Force Awakens version from the Mafex, just as a head sculpt. We want to basically see how far Hasbro has come with their face sculpt technology versus some of the other companies that are a bit a step above what Hasbro has done in the past as far as head sculpts are concerned, in my particular opinion. So getting a look at these two, right off the bat, you notice that the Mafex version has more of a yellowish or orangish, I should say, tone to the skin, which is fine. Actually looks really, really good. I actually love the head sculpt on the Mafex version right here. And then of course the way that the hair is done and everything. And then of course, again, it is the Force Awakens version. So this is based upon Adam Driver's look at that particular time. Whereas this one over here, the Black Series version, is based on his look now. I really like, in regards to the Black Series version, the detail in the lines in his face there. I like the angrier look that the Hasbro version is giving you, a more sinister look, which is absolutely cool. The Mafex version kind of looks like he's grinning a bit, like he's a little happy about something. I don't know what he could be happy about, especially in The Force Awakens. He was defeated by Rey, and he was shot by Chewie. So you have to give points to Hasbro in comparison to their competition, which is a bit more of a high-end figure. These figures run you anywhere from 60 to $100, depending on if it's an exclusive. I forget exactly how much I paid for the Mafex version, but of course the Mafex version offers you more accessories. You get 2 different head sculpts usually with the Mafex. This particular version of the Mafex comes with this helmet as well. Obviously with this version of the Black Series, we don't get his helmet, which is interesting because one of the main features of the trailer, as well as some of the conversation that's been going on with The Last Jedi, is the fact that Kylo's helmet has been damaged. We now know why it has been damaged, because in the trailer he takes it and smashes it against the wall of maybe a destroyer or some First Order facility. He's obviously upset about something, and he smashes his helmet against the wall. It's funny that they did not give us his helmet, nor did they give us a smashed version of his helmet, which is no big deal, but it would have been nice to include that. But also you have to understand that they probably were concerned about giving away any spoilers for the movie, so I'm sure that's an item that would probably was not included. So as you can see, Hasbro has come a very long way with their head sculpt technology, and they are doing fairly well compared to their more higher end competition, and especially for the price point between these two figures. I would say that you're doing really well with the Hasbro, and if you just simply cannot afford the cost of some of the higher end figures from the Mafex, you're still doing well with your Black Series figures as far as head sculpts are concerned. I do get some of the Mafex figures, especially the human face figures, because they do such a good job with the face sculpt. So that's why you'll see me probably pick up, if Mafex comes out with this, the Last Jedi version of Kylo, I probably will pick up that figure just so I can get a look at what the head sculpt is like, and probably compare it to the Black Series and see what improvements they have put on their particular version of the face sculpt on Kylo. So there it is.
Let the past die. Kill it. If you have to. That's the only way to become what you're meant to be.
Please like and subscribe. And from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost, may the Force be with you always.